more than a form of black art, but this ain't magic, it's tragic. The gravity of police brutality is quite psychopathic, but demographics are right against.
Yes, it is OSD episode 331. This is the 2014 wrap-up OSD Secret Disorder. Thanks for tuning in as you do each and every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, OSDlive.com. My name is D. Wells with all the Sole Doctors Disorderlies from around the world. Thank you for jumping in, walking with us, talking with us, and more importantly, letting us know you like what you're hearing, seeing, and more importantly, keeping your souls on the ground. No fugazis, no playing games. We're going to wrap it up. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight on tonight's show. We're going to put it all out there, let it all hang out. You know, that's an old Adore quote kind of song. Let it all hang out. No, I'm dating myself. Nonetheless, let's get right to it. We're going to get right to it. The Sole Doctors and Disorderlies are in the building. So let's get right to it. Paper Chaser, my mellow, my man, what's the good word? What's the good word? What's the good word?
Well, welcome
yes.
to episode number 331, year-end wrap-up 2014. It has been a very busy year, a very active year, a whole lot of news, a whole lot of moves, a whole lot of chess play that took place this year in 2014. We're going to get into some of that tonight.
We certainly are.
Our episode, you know, favorite sneaks, favorite news stories, crazy news stories, all kind of stuff is going to go down in this episode. But the reason why I'm starting, D. Wells, with the stock report today is, I believe, I may stand corrected by going back to
in a long time.
My memory serves me well. This is the first time in a very long time all 10 stocks that we watch and we report on every day had positive gains today. So, with that being said, we're just going to read them off, and then we're going to get around to who the panel is that have joined us tonight and start hearing from them in regards to their highlights or recaps on the year. Pull no punches, spare no one, let it all hang out, as Dee said before. So we're going to read up, starting with Nike, finishing at $94.50 on a day, finished up $1.29 per share. Skechers finished at $56.77 today, up D. Wells $2.82 per share. VF Corporation, Vanity Fair Corporation, parent company for Vans, North Face, Timberland, and so many other brands, finished at $73.13 per share, up $1.82 per share. Under Armour, very busy brand this year, finished at $69.15 per share, up D. Wells $2.70 per share on the day. Deckers Outdoor Corporation, parent company for Uggs, Teva, a couple of other brands, finished at $93.76 per share, $1.45 D. Wells on the share. Foot Locker Incorporated finished at $56.33 per share, up 55 cents per. Adidas AG, very busy year for Adidas. They finished on the OTC market at $34.60 per share, up 47 cents. Puma AG on the ETR market finished at 173.20 in euros, up D. Wells 5 whole euros per share on the day. eBay on the NASDAQ finished at $56.40 per share, up 47 cents per share on the day. Finish Line Incorporated, last but not least, also on the NASDAQ, finished at $28.49 per share, up 35 cents per share on the day. So, once again, you heard it correctly. If you're a regular watcher or listener to OSD, you heard correctly just now on what I reported. Every single stock that we watch and report on every day finished positive today. So, once again, an example of why we've been telling you guys for 4 years now with nobody else following our lead, I might add, that you need to invest in the athletic footwear business on the stock side. Don't just be a customer, as EPMD used to say. Put some money to the side, holler at us, info@OSD Live. Make sure you holler at us if you're serious about investing in this side of the business. We will help you out. We will help you win. So, what you think about those results, D. Wells?
Man, I think this is the first time in a very long time, a very, very long time, that every stock, like you said, is up. But particularly the one that jumps out at me. I mean, we know Nike's going to move. I mean, they actually got a lot of cash. People have been buying and selling that stock. But the one that's been catching me and steadily making some serious money for people to invest in is Skechers.
Mm-hmm.
Skechers has been on fire. If you bought Skechers roughly, I would say at this point, roughly about 12 weeks ago, you've already made your money.
Yep.
You've already made your money. Right now, I mean, for them to be up $2.82 on the day closing at 56.77, yeah, could believe it. You know, all these kids, Ariana Grande and all of them who are doing their little deals. Yeah, she's running around with Big Sean, who's an Adidas guy, but, you know, Demi Lovato, all of them, guess what brand they're wearing these days? You guessed it. Skechers.
You guessed it.
Skechers. You
For
know,
real.
we talk about the teenagers. What are the teenagers buying, believe it or not? Not even teenagers. I can't even, we say teenagers, but we're thinking about, I mean, we think about, Sean, you have a daughter.
Yes, sir.
K-Dog, you have a daughter. That age group, even my daughter, that age group, believe it or not, they're paying attention to Skechers. They really are. So, money, money, money.
How are they paying attention to Skechers, G?
Because they're some of the musicians and artists that they look up to or follow, they're actually doing endorsement deals or wearing Skechers on their own.
Mm.
The 1975, a rock and roll group that my daughter loves, guess what? A couple of the cats in the band, yeah, they wear Converse, but a couple of them are wearing Skechers as well. And they don't have an endorsement deal. You know? The thing for people, you know, these young adults, you know, coming into their own, they want to be different. They don't want to look like everyone else. They don't want to have, you know, they're wearing stuff like, you know, Skechers. They're wearing these, you know, the stuff, you know, the running sneakers that Meb was wearing as well. So
it's kind of crazy, you know. New Balance got crushed, not crushed, but they took a hit when they had that moment there, brand-wise, when they were talking about the gray 996 is the old white man shoe.
Mm.
Then all of a sudden, as soon as that hit, Skechers was like Joe Montana, Pete Rose, anybody else in that 50 to 60 vein, but that was still popular, and that's when we started talking about Meb, and they also got their athletic spin. They're tying it together in so many ways that are so good. And like I said before, I was wrong because I went to the gym and I'm like, those are Skechers? Like literally anybody that's 45 and older in the gym is wearing Skechers. So the availability of it, the distribution channels, the price point, it's just all coming together for them right now. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
The shoes do have a presence all over, and again, Jesse, you had the sneaker tour in New York with me, so you saw where they're placed with their store.
Mm-hmm.
You saw one of their stores. I took you past one of their stores. They have two in that area. So even since the what do we call them? What's the shoes everyone was getting sued for?
The Roches?
No, the step-ups or
The
something.
step-ups, the shape-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since the shape-up era, Skechers has been gaining traction. So, again, we're not the people who publicly endorse anything. We're just reporting on what we see, and we're pretty sure other people see it too. So don't act like you don't see it. You may not want to acknowledge it because you don't get down like that. But if you're paying attention to footwear all across your metropolis, I'm pretty sure you're seeing Skechers on quite a few feet these days. Mark Cuban doesn't count.
And then, you know, they're talking about they have some sub-brands too, so,
Yep.
you know, under that umbrella that you wouldn't think belong to Skechers.
Yep.
So, namely in the basketball and possibly even skateboarding markets, but I'm not going to out anybody on air.
Yeah, we won't do that yet.
You know, but I mean, I guess there's good reason they don't want you to know, or they don't highly publicize that, but they're doing their thing, man. They're just like Under Armour. They got a business plan, a unique business plan, and they're following that plan, and it's showing results.
I mean, they've always been the company that said, hey, yes, this is what we're going to do. We're going to rip you off. You go ahead and set the trends. You spend your marketing dollars. We're going to follow that color palette, and we're going to get those trends, and we're going to put them on our product too. But we're going to keep our price point the same, and we're going to open up our channels of distribution. You know, because when I look down and I look at it, like, I don't feel comfortable. I couldn't even go into a conversation with somebody at a gym and be like, yeah, I see you're wearing Skechers. They're probably not going to last you that long. You can't have that conversation because that's just wrong. It's not true anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, do those work for you? That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. They're hitting it on the right cylinders. Like, what can you say about them? You can't say shit.
Jesse's in the gym like, wow, you ran that long and you still have all your toes? All right.
Hey, man.
It's not even that, though. It's like, it's everything, though. Like, you know me, cross-training, fitness, everything. Like, I look over to the left, and I'm looking at the shoe the dude's on. It's got a nice, cool gray palette. It's got some neon colors. They've got their outfit coordinated, and I look at their feet, and I see this big S, and I'm like, really? I'm like, yo, wow. I'm like, okay, all right.
If you still had a pair of shape-ups, you wouldn't need to be in the gym.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I mean, everybody was up today, so everybody's ending on our last show of the year on a positive note, which is good.
How come no one's talking about the $5 Puma jump? We just give Rihanna that shot and hope she dies with it, or what?
Listen,
we're gonna get to that.
We'll get to that, definitely.
We'll get to that. We're gonna allow you the floor to have that say. I don't want to forget to send a very strong birthday shout out to OSD's own Leo in need of heat. Sherry, happy birthday, homie.
Absolutely.
He may pop on a little later, you know, with his, you know, trademark cigar and cognac in tow. So shout out to him. Happy birthday, homie.
As well as Premium Pete, it's his birthday as well today. So a number of the Sole Doctors' birthdays today.
Premium Pete, eat a slice of pizza for me.
What's that?
I said I told him to eat a slice of pizza for me.
Oh.
See his Instagram. He got his cake was a pizza with candles on it.
That's So who's first up to bat?
Who's first up to bat for the year-end wrap?
For real. It's like
Active Adrian. Is it going to be the homie who decided to take his talents back to Akron?
It ain't my fault.
Is it going to be the homie who has a slight problem in Houston because Dwight Howard isn't playing right now?
No, he's back.
He's back?
He's back, and he's bad.
Is it going to be the guy who's putting on his training shoes and running past pages of lawsuits and indictments out in the PDX? That'd be you, Jesse.
I know.
Or is it going to be the guy who out in the ONE happens to every now and then run across lambs or sheep or goats?
Lamb, sheep, or goats.
I'm sorry, I hit the button too fast because I was laughing.
Who's going first?
Be careful with that O&E picking on. We know how that goes.
Who's first up the bat? We don't. There you go.
Oh, that's really good. We don't coast. All right, so who's stepping up and going first?
Man, I'll go first. I'll
Okay.
just say I think 2014 wasn't that great of a year for sneakers. You know, I think we've kind of seen the market get oversaturated, and we've seen some brands begin to get weeded out from that oversaturation. And
Mm.
we've seen other brands just continue to do the same old thing. I was really hoping that we'd see some brands, you know, kind of kick it up a notch and get original, being that everything is so just like oversaturated right now. So let me see. I'm just gonna run down a list of brands that I got here.
Mm-hmm.
I give Adidas a A+ with the signing. You know, Rita Ora, Pharrell, Nigo, Kanye West. You know, we still have yet to see anything from him, so that's kind of a unsatisfactory mark that it's taken a whole year to even issue anything.
Mm.
But
They're gonna milk
you
that.
know, Adidas gets an A+ on the year for those signings, for the Pure Boost. You know, that probably the best shoe. Anything with Boost in it is just incredible. It's technology that works. It's not a gimmick. Asics, we saw those beat to death this year. Let me think what else we got here. Converse is always good. Staple, Ewing Athletics. How much longer can they hang on? You know, pushing that stuff out. Uh, you know, Huff has a couple of new signature models, namely Dylan Reader and the new Huff 2, which were really popular. Jordan Brand all over the place with their lifestyle sneakers, dipping into the luxury market, kind of crazy. You know, I don't know what to make of that. Uh, Nike SB, you know, to me, same old thing. I mean, we used to see LeBron's, KD's, Kobe's fly off of shelves. Now they just kind of sit.
I think the
So
price bubble has burst.
the price bubble has burst.
That's what it is. That's why you don't see things flying off the shelf anymore.
I mean, I don't know if it's like that where you guys are, but that's how it is down here. I mean, if you haven't seen on the news, Jordan's still king down here, though. Nobody's messing with Jordan. So I think Adrian just got done with his ticket handout today. He can probably tell you a little bit more about how that went.
Yeah, that was fun.
Puma, we've seen them come out with a lot of great shoes at a friendly price point. You know, the whole Anwar Carrots collab and Rihanna and Solange. You know, I give them credit for that. Reebok, man, they hit a home run with the CrossFit deal. I think that's a good deal for them, but I mean, I think they've been doing the same thing for too long now. They need to kind of, I don't know, come up with something different. And Vans, I mean, Vans is always going to be classic, man. That's Cali lifestyle. They got their own niche market. You know, they came out with the Cali lifestyle line, and what else came out this year? I don't know, but they're doing okay. They're hanging in there. They got a niche of their own. It's kind of hard for them to fall off when they're doing something not too many people are beating with the stick, you know. So I don't know. That's my year in review.
You missed the tonic.
Oh, and
They tried to relaunch and
yeah. Well, I
did a
kind
good
of
job.
lump all them in one. Etonic and British Knights and
Yeah.
who else is there? Pony.
And really, with
You know.
Etonic couldn't share their story with us when we were asking questions. We all want to support it, but I'm gonna put them in 2015 because we didn't get enough answers.
Mm. Okay.
It's like the
You don't
bubble.
have the answers,
You
Sway.
got the answers. Ridiculous.
You don't have more than
This
answers.
is ridiculous.
It was like the bubble. The bubble.
Got in their office.
The bubble was getting big. It reached a pinnacle. I definitely think we saw it reach a pinnacle. I don't know if it burst or if it's in decline, but you know, we saw all those old brands resurrect themselves from the graveyard and try to come get a piece, and that that includes Cross Colors and Carl Kanai and
I think that's to me that's the measure. To me, that's the measure of a good year, though. Like I call 2014. I call 2014 a good year. When the bubble burst, let's see who's still here for the love. Let's see who's still here for the true parts of the culture. It's always a good year if everybody gets the releases that they want. I judge a good year by the sales rack. Who's not in front of release day shoes?
I think
Who's getting the loveliness over there for that .98 at a finish line? You know.
On OSD we preach elevation, and I just didn't really see that too much this year.
I think that's for me. That's what I'm saying is like I think we did elevate. When I get these at the sales rack, that's elevation. When I get this on the when I get this on the half, when I get this on the half price, that's elevation.
Yeah.
When I find this, I mean, I'm just saying it's hard.
Good for the consumer, bad for the retailer.
Yeah, I'm talking about the business overall, the retailer, the brands. Like, I was really expecting to see just a little bit more personally. I don't.
But that's the thing is, I'm not. You know me. I'm always the one that'll give the sort of devil's advocate side of things because I don't discount the business aspect. I'm a businessman. I know business. But it's
like let me just ask you a question. What was the most impressive signature shoe you saw this year?
The most impressive signature shoe?
Yes.
I don't pay attention to signature shoes, so I could care less.
What was the most impressive shoe you saw this year?
The most impressive shoe I saw this year? The Adidas Boost 2.
Boost 2.
Yeah, the Boost 2. See, we talk so much about style and fashion and retail. Let's talk performance. This is a $1 billion industry, and we're talking about $1 million of it on this show most of the time. Let's talk wider gamuts than that. Let's talk about, like I said, in my backyard, I got the biggest UA in the world. That's growth. That's elevation. You know, we saw a player who was a bit player at Nike. I take that back. You want to know the most impressive signature for me is the Steph Curry signature. That's an amazing shoe. You know?
The clutch fit drive, you mean?
Yes, absolutely. Well, yeah, technically not a name signature, but definitely a sponsored shoe when they got him on the wall of their building promoting it. That's as signature as it gets until they put Curry on the side of one of them.
Word.
So I'm just saying, again, from the devil's advocate standpoint of we got to be careful to not come dangerously close to crossing that line that we always poke at and not being beasts, not being only about the signatures, not only being about the major retail or the boutique high-level, high-price shoe. When really the industry, to me, took a lot of steps forward to weeding out that kind of behavior because I think you're right, Kadoma, the bubble did begin to pop, burst, flex to the point of breaking.
Yep.
And it made us decide what was important, what was a good shoe. You know, it may be on the sales rack, you know, at a mall retailer. I get that not a lot of things go on sale at a boutique. I get that. But it's hard to say that the year wasn't as good as most because to me I think the year was better than most because we couldn't fall back on 18 numbers releases from Jordan like we did in 2012 when every single week, and D always talks about this during that summer, every single week somebody was wearing a Jordan 12, 13, 14. It was an amazing year because those are moving lots of dollars, and it was a predictable release day shoe. But does that make it a great year because you could predictably move a hyped up release date shoe? Or is it more like the resurgence of the Asics Kayano trainer, technically the one? Was it a better year because some of those things that went into from the Nike vault that actually made them signature back in the day? Like I said, for me, a major find was that Air Max 9.3. That's crazy to me that could come back out of the vault, sift through the ranks of all of the release date window lickers, and get to the sales rack. Well, hallelujah. Thank you. You know, that's just, like I said, that's just to me, that's the other side that I think we always have to talk about while we're talking about elevation, which is great. To me, elevation is the Boost line. To me, elevation is the historic resurgence of a Kayano at its early stages. Again, a shoe that actually went to sale. I picked mine up at $150 for both pairs of shoes in that pack from Forget the retailer. I picked him up. Damn. Anyway.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah, it'll hit me. But so I'm saying some of those signature moments still went to sale because they're not named Jordan, they're not named KD, they're not named Kobe. But that doesn't make them not a signature release or not a major release or not a very important release. That just tells you that there's a big section of us that are still window licking for release day shoes.
I think everything went to sale though, unless it was a limited product. You can find it on sale.
Yep.
True.
There's no such thing as limited product anymore.
There's no such thing?
There's no such thing as limited product. It's those who can get it. It's those who can get it and those who can't, depending on what it is. But limited, there's no such thing.
See, to me, that's where the bubble is definitely ready to burst. Because if that's the only criteria, then you might as well count me out the game because I got a room, not a closet, a room full of mall, non-release date, amazing sneakers that are not limited. So if that's the case, I'll go ahead and check out if that's the criteria. Because then not a damn thing I ever do will be important. You know what I mean? Because it's not limited product.
Nothing is produced with a limit on it. You don't sit in a meeting and say, okay, we're only going to make 200 of these. No, you don't. You go in and say, this is the price point, this is what we're going to produce, this is where our distribution is, and we're going to forecast how much we think we can sell. But if you blow that forecast out of the water, you better damn well know that there's another order going to the factory to produce more. So there is no, they market it as limited to build your hype, but there is no limited. If there was limited, we wouldn't have outlets. We wouldn't have players being able to get 4 to 5 boxes 8 weeks before the shoe is created, and then it goes to market. There's no such thing as limited. It's made up. It's made up. Limited does not equal sales. And at the end of the day, let's remember, these companies are about making that dollar.
They're not opposed to making it on the back end, though. You're right. It might be in a warehouse somewhere, but they're only releasing that shit a little bit at a time.
I just think we're at a point right now where there's so many releases by so many companies, it's overwhelming for the average consumer. And so much so that like there's so many different products, so many sneakers, not just in the running category or basketball category. There's so many sneakers across the board. New stuff with new technology, as well as old stuff, retro, that's being re-released. That what do you pay attention to, or how do you even stay up to date? Like, I'll be honest, I know I have a hard time staying up to date on all the releases. Sometimes I get calls like, "Oh, D, have you heard about this?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "How do you not know?" I'm like, "There's so many releases every week. You could spend your entire day on the internet just looking at different websites and whatnot, and still not know every release that's coming out."
I love that, though. To me, I love that because that means that our culture is still maturing. If you look at any other genre, any other product, any other specialty, there's 1,000,001 cars in the world. Not everybody knows every brand of car, but that doesn't stop anyone from being a car aficionado. You're still searching for those things. There are untold amounts of wine, which is a very high-end, classy thing, and a low-end thing that you can get boxed at Target.
Yeah.
You know, that just means that our culture is becoming vast enough where that we won't know everything, which is exactly why there's a need for this kind of forum. When things got predictable a few years ago, and you knew every release, and you knew what was coming out and when it was coming out, and to Jesse's point, how many was coming out, and the guess that they were going to re-release it 3 months later.
Yeah, well,
the culture got predictable.
Well, there's just so many products on the street that it's almost like crack in the 80s and 90s. There's just too much. Look at the. I mean, let's be honest. Is there, because there's so many sneakers out there, has it affect the price at retail? And that's a question.
Yes, of course it has.
It has, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's happened to the price at retail?
It's gone drastically up.
Okay. Has the quality increased?
Not necessarily, no.
Not in our veins.
Has the technology increased?
They want to tell you
what are we talking about? Has the quality increased per brand or across the board? Because I think there's some brands that had to raise their quality in order to stay at the price point when it moved
Absolutely.
up.
Who? Jordan Brand. right?
Jordan Brand drove up the price, but I think that's when Asics and New Balance and some of these other people are like, well, we got to make sure we're putting out real leather, real suede, something a little bit more quality in order to even stay in the
Those
game.
companies they were putting out a good product, but because Jordan raised their price, they felt that they had to raise their price to be in that same category because it's almost like, oh, their grass is cut lower, so we got to cut our grass or make our grass greener.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's a whole monkey see, monkey do. Follow, every monkey know what tree to climb too. So it's actually hurting us, the consumer. Gas prices, right? Gas prices started going up in what? 2007, 2008. For what? For what reason?
And we see the backlash of that, and we talk about it all the time. That price won't go down until our rabid nature for collecting and keeping these things goes down.
But that's not going to happen. At least I don't see it happening. Especially after what we saw in parts of the United States this past weekend for lottery tickets, not even the sneakers.
I think in large enough, you're right, because I think our culture is still so young as a culture that we act foolish. Gas prices actually went down because people stopped driving. The truth is we couldn't afford to drive. And when that hit oil companies in their pockets, they were like, okay.
Yep.
Like we talked about, they drove it so high that now the price decrease has us screaming hallelujah like it's the second coming.
Like we found gold.
Exactly. And really it's higher than it was 5 years ago still.
Yep.
And we celebrating the price drop.
True, we are.
We've been conditioned. We've been conditioned.
We've been conditioned.
And so, but in that conditioning, the lack of motorists on the road taking trips, taking travel, the drop in airline travel for jet fuel, this prompted a backlash.
Even though we got to pay for our damn bags now, I don't like that shit.
And that's why Southwest is blowing up. A consumer reaction to a foolish thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got to pay for your bags on where? Southwest?
No, you don't have to pay on Southwest.
Oh.
And JetBlue.
So that's what I'm saying is those consumers are savvy enough. Those consumers get angry enough. Those consumers will say, fuck it, we ain't traveling.
Right.
We have not gotten to that point yet where we will deny a shoe.
Well,
collectively,
correct.
Collectively, we haven't. All right. So we gotta put a pause on that. We gotta pass it around the horn. Are you ready for your year-end wrap-up, Ridiculous? I know you've been going at it for a minute now. You might want to take a breather.
Mine is brief. I think mine is general year-end wrap-up. I loved that the quality on some brands did go up. You're looking at your New Balances and whatnot. I can't speak to price. It's still disappointing straight across the board because, again, collectively, we're unable to take a stand collectively enough to say we won't pay certain prices. That aside, the Boost technology has single-handedly saved my old joints, and I love it. That's incredible. The ability to train more consistently. We talk innovation all the time. That is an innovation, as Kadoma said, that is true. It's not a gimmick. We thought it was, and we bantered about that a couple of years ago when they dropped. At this point, it's proven. I do like Adidas reaching back in their history for shoes like the Tubular to give you a modern silhouette with old cues. Kudos to that sales rack of Nike who started to release a lot of the old school runners that actually made them who they are. Nike wasn't built on Jordan Brand, although Jordan Brand did save them in the mid 80s and early 90s. Nike was a running shoe company, and some of that legacy started to bubble back up. Really like that. Asics, Kayano, a lot of the ones I've already mentioned. The history and the design theory that goes into the Asics line. One of the things I love that I read from Kayano himself was that even he was frustrated in having to build and redesign the line every single year because as a designer, he set out to do it right the first time. So to him, every shoe was perfect, and he didn't like that he had to design another one. It was counter to the very idea of being a great designer. So things like that, I really like when the year kind of waned from a consumer standpoint, much to Kadoma's credit in saying so. Some of those other things about the culture started to bubble up. So to me, it was a good year for the real sneaker lover, for the real footwear aficionado. It might have been a down year for the beast.
All right, who wants it up next?
K-Dog, you ready? We need to put on some Master P for you?
No.
It ain't my fault. I do that. It ain't my fault.
Well, first off, my boy came back home, so that was good. Just like I predicted. CGS, we donated a ton of money this year, which was good.
Yes, sir. Over $20,000, correct?
Yeah, 23.
Wow.
So that was a big deal. And then, I don't know, it was a good year. I mean, I think the hobby of collecting shoes, as far as coming from a social media aspect, definitely took a couple steps behind what I would like to see.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just things have changed a lot in the last couple of years, and it just doesn't seem to be as fun as it used to be for myself. So I don't know. The
I feel
shoes
the
are the
same way.
shoes.
I feel exactly the same way.
You're forgetting the fact that Master P put out a release this year.
This is the opportunity, really, K, to just go in. You know, tell us why. You know, this is big. Every one of us here loves shoes in a different way. Tell us why. The people need to know why.
I
And don't
mean,
be
I
afraid to
like,
say why.
yeah, I like Instagram, but I think Instagram's ruined a lot of it, and
Agreed.
it's just the level of, pardon the term, but the level of fuckery is just ridiculous.
I knew that's what he was going to say. As soon as he said pardon, I'm like, he's going to say fuckery.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
He was ambivalent about cursing because of his beard.
Yeah, people's online personalities can be very false, and it's just,
What?
What do you mean?
What you say?
it's just when you know some of these people, when you know some of these people, and then you see what they do online, and it's just like, you want to call them out, but I'm really not that type of guy where I'm just gonna like blast somebody online, because it's just not my style. And but some of these guys,
You're saying you're not a troll.
they've taken it to the next level, and I think I've noticed, because I've been in LeBron PEs for a long time, that I've noticed that this isn't an old man sport anymore. This is for the young kids, the young bucks, with all of mommy and daddy's money. You know, I've sold quite a few of my shoes in the last 6 months, and they've all been to rich kids. So, I mean, I don't know where they're getting
Are you saying
money from.
it's sneaker gentrification?
It's just, it's crazy. I mean, when I have, like, I had a kid hit me up, and I had the LeBron 10 black denim. I had worn it probably 4 or 5 times, and this kid seeked me out, and I mean, it was over $4,000 he paid for it.
Damn.
And when the kid's mom is texting me saying, "All right, I'm going to PayPal you the money," I'm thinking, I don't know. It just
How fast
your mind.
did you get the succulent out of those shoes?
Yeah.
I mean, once the wife found out what I was selling them for, that's when I really got fucked.
She's like this. She's Johnny Manziel. She's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You did the smurder dance on your feet.
Exactly.
But like, I swear, it's just like on Instagram, like these dudes claim they don't. Oh, I didn't know I was that popular. I had that many followers, and I'm like, you're so full of shit. Like, that's why you're on there. That's why you're posting 50 times a day. Like, and they have all these followers and stuff, and it's just, I think some of the guys that are legit, really about what the hobby used to be about, are kind of just swept to the side, and this whole new generation of collectors, or whatever you want to call them, is just kind of taken over, and it's disappointing, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, still associate with a lot of the guys that have been around for a long time, so it's just we kind of sit back and chuckle, but
Yeah, man.
it kind of stinks. But IG is also good for it because it helps people like myself or Kadoma or Gary, you know, that owns Dunk Exchange. Like, it helps us promote our events and get people to come out and support the events, and you know, that's the other thing that kind of pisses me off now that I bring that up. Any dumbass that can rub a couple dollars together thinks he can do a sneaker show. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. I mean, you could put something together, but whether it's going to have any integrity is beyond that. I mean, it's just these people just think they can throw something together, and the crazy thing is I went to a show in Pittsburgh to promote CGS, and these kids literally threw this thing together. We went because it was close, and I did get to promote the show, but I counted all the tables. I knew what they were charging. I found out how much they were charging at the door, how many people came through. They walked away with like $27,000 profit. Now that might not seem like a lot, but you're talking about 3 kids that threw something together.
Right.
So, I mean, and then they're doing it every 4 weeks they're trying to do it. Like, even if you made, like, there's a kid here, it's called Stark Got Soul. And it's in Stark County. It's out in the boonies. It's in a church hall. And I think the kid actually goes to church there. So they get the hall for free.
Good.
He charges $35 a table,
Okay.
$10 at the door. And we went and checked it out. Even if he walks away with $5-6 grand, it's
clear.
It's in high school.
In high school, he's making $5,000 every what?
Yeah.
4 weeks.
And clear.
And that's just, and then he does it every 4 weeks. So it's not like, you know, when you're talking about something like that, and then you're talking something like Dunk Exchange or Sneaker Con or H-Town Sneaker Summit, obviously that's a whole nother level. But like these kids, man, they just throw them together. I know Pittsburgh, they probably have 4 or 5 different shows going on all at different times. It's like craziness. It's just like, after this last Cleveland's Got Soul, it's like it takes a lot to put that stuff together if you want to do it right. And I don't know if I even want to do it anymore. So, I mean, the only thing that would really keep me doing it is the fact that the people we donate the money to really appreciate us doing that. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to go on record. Uno más. Uno más. Come on now.
So, I don't know. I actually had Villa hit me up 2 days ago, and they were like, "Are you guys going to do CGS this year?" And I was like, "I don't think so." I was like, "If we do it, we'll wait till the following year." But there was the push to do it again this year, but if there's just a lot of things. You start donating 23 grand, it's like, you know, the man starts wanting his cut and taxes and you know, what I told Andrew was, I was like, if we can get the 501c3 in place and become a nonprofit, it would make things a lot easier.
Right.
So it hasn't happened. So, and I haven't pushed hard to do the 501c3 because.
Well, I have a K-Dog. We'll talk off air,
Yeah.
And I have a couple ideas of how you can work around that and work. You know, basically work a cooperative.
Yeah.
Called a worker cooperative, and I know a couple out there in your neck of the woods. So.
All right, cool. But yeah, it's been a good year. My family's been healthy, so I can't complain.
There you go.
Yeah, because you guys were safe and sound and healthy this year in your family. Word up.
I want to hear Adrian's take. I want to hear it from a
We want to go to active Adrian. What's up, homie?
Let's hear it from a retailer perspective.
Loud and clear.
Truth.
I guess my recap on 2014. I like I guess the resurgence of the smaller brands like Puma. Definitely Puma.
We can't hear you too good.
Okay. I like the resurgence of the smaller brands with like Puma, Etonic, BK try to come back. They didn't make too much noise. These brands had to get just innovative to go up against Nike and Jordan to undercut them basically. How can we make some noise and have these kids look at us and be cool? That's why they signed Anwar and Rocky Fresh. Adidas went and brought in big people, but at the same time they're making affordable shoes, not $150, not $200 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about it. I think Nike and Jordan will always be there, but they're pricing it outrageous, and they're putting that pressure on the retailer. So this is they're telling us that this is what you're going to sell it at, and then you can't sell it at that price, and it's up to you to cut into your profit. And so from that standpoint, I didn't like 2014, but I like the Pumas of the world, Etonic, the nostalgic pieces, cool pieces they put together.
All right.
And somebody was saying that the industry's changing. It is a lot. Not like it used to be. There's more pressure on independents to grow, and if you're not going to grow, then you've basically cornered yourself. So you want to deal with more corporate entities, more numbers, protection in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my recap for 2014 as far as the retailer side.
All right. Who's next?
Come on, Mr. Jesse.
Yeah, you're out there where everything's happening, man.
Sure you guys ready for this?
Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah, we are.
All right. So, first of all, thank you to Dee and Sean for running this show, for providing this format for people like myself and you, others here, to really just enjoy what it is about this culture we've loved for many years, and that's just the love of the shoe. We don't really think about what we paid for. We get excited over materials, colors, and soles, and sitting out in the park and having a good time. There's a lot of positive things about this culture that we care about very deeply, and thank you to Sean and Dee for making sure there's a platform for people like myself to share it and to not lose the love. On that note,
we thank you, Jesse.
I threw a little top 10 together that I think will surprise.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Just to make sure there's good conversation going on as we move
Jesse,
forward.
Jesse, that kid in class where as soon as he start talking, everybody go, "Oh, brother."
I can stop. I can stop.
Keep it rolling, baby.
So I start at the top or the bottom? Which one do you got?
Start at the bottom.
All right, so we're gonna hit the bottom with K-Swiss. I got a fellow PLM out there. Shout out to Corey. They recently re-released the S19 or something like that, which was a tennis shoe. There's a lot of opportunity in the game of tennis right now, especially we see what happened with Andy Murray.
D likes that.
Trying to get an exposure in that sport. So I think K-Swiss has a nice little foundation going on. Number 9, Diodora. Coming out of Europe, really was like, you know what, let's just take our catalog and remix it. I think that's a good idea. I think that's where good opportunities come from, and I think they've got a good future. So number 9 is Diodora. Towards the bottom, I think this might surprise somebody. They recently dropped down as I made the list while we were here, but Number 8 is going to be New Balance. I think they have just saturated their market, painting soles to look like fake technology. There's just a lot of things where they started off strong, and I think they're just kind of getting consumed with the hype at the point right now. So they come in at number 8 for the year. My fellow family Converse comes in at number 7. I think there's a lot of things that they're doing that nobody sees, but to be able to still move the Chuck Taylor high and low the way they do, what can you say? You can do nothing but pay respects. That's it. Number 6, Puma. They just keep trying. You can't say nothing about them. They just keep it's okay. I like the ideas. I like the colorways and the materials. It's kind of like a flash in the pan. They get to like 6-7 months of something good, and then they're like, well, what do we do now? So, but good job, Puma. Reebok came in at number 5.
Really?
Reebok came in at number 5.
Reebok.
The simple fact, if you look at where they are, where they started out at the beginning of the year, not really knowing what they were going to do with CrossFit, but they committed to it, started a line, opened some business, started to really try to get something athletic going in that building because there was nothing. There was nothing. No basketball, no heritage, no nothing. And then to go and say, well, we'll just catch on to this UFC thing, which is directly associated with a certain kind of training. They're looking for an identity in athletics. I appreciate that. I think they've got a lot of work to do, but for someone to say this is our lane and we're going to ride it is important. So I think they've kind of done that. Number 4 is going to be Asics. I mean, to go from a brand that used to be the white person's running shoe to all of a sudden doing collabs with every other boutique, you can't shake a stick at that. And realizing what they had to do, and it's not midsoles and plastic, it's materials, and trying to put stories together. They're trying to grow, and you can't be mad at that. Number 3, Adidas. They're getting their house in order. And they're not losing too much traction. They took a shot to the chin, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go back and do some more training. So they're getting their house in order. They came in at number 3. Number 2 was Nike. They just got the catalog. That's it. They've got an archive that feeds to us whether we want to admit it or not. It doesn't matter if we get a Jordan or if we get a basketball shoe. We're gonna probably get an Air Max 1 that's $60. So they've got a catalog that we all love. So let's leave it at that. And to my surprise, number 1 I gave to UA. I thought about this one a lot, but in terms of every corner you can think of when it comes to the athletic footwear industry, technology, athletic inspired, marketing, reaching new markets, they're next up, period. So that's my professional recap. Other than that, in terms of community and love, the small guy is up next. Everything's going to be driven by creativity pretty soon. Driven by design and materials.
See, that's what I was saying.
Personal top 2.
What's that?
What's that, Steve?
I was going to say, that was a great professional recap. Now, I want to hear your personal top 2, because I know you got opinions on personal.
That was a great professional recap. It really was.
The personal one is what I'm getting at now.
Okay.
And personally, looking forward, I think the small guy is where it's at. I really like what Clay is doing, and I really like what Cold Weather Brand is doing.
Yeah.
Clear Weather Brand. Sorry, my taste and desires at this point have changed. So I think the small guy, anybody that's looking to be a little more creative, anything that's driven by design and materials. I mean, any way that you can figure out how to move those things forward, that's gonna be significant in the culture. And then who's really gonna be able to create a community? The only one that seems to corporately wise being able to do it is Finish Line, to be honest with you. Nobody else really, with all this social media, with all this hype, with all these blogs, kind of like my man was saying out in Ohio, there's a lot of fuckery going on social media, and a lot of people trying to control that, and it's not about control. How are you going to contribute to our community? And the only people that seem to be doing that is Finish Line. I think Finish Line in their digital space is doing a good job. So that's
And
that.
I just want to touch on that, what Jesse said. Like, we've been in this game a long time, a lot of us, and collectively for, probably over 100 years. But, so we know how things are going to go. We've seen the cycle come and go. And, like, what Jesse said, like, it's about the little guy and opening windows for that little guy and kind of seeing people succeed out of being creative and innovative. And that's what I'm waiting for. And I was expecting to see that this year, and I didn't. And, I think that's exactly my sentiments exactly. So
I think we're in a space now, and you see it in the design world itself. I see it every day as a creative director, an independent creative director at that. We're moving into that space. We see it with that lawsuit. We see it with the lack of design and innovation from inside these major brand camps. I really think that our brother DE is leading the charge that is about to really start to show some dividends with independent design being contracted into these companies, but coming from a stable built on design. I think they're going to start to, we've seen it with his school already, with Pencil, where at first he was placing people. Now he has a team of his own. Pretty soon they're going to be coming to him, and he's not going to let the people go. They're going to buy the ideas. He's going to become this stable of ideas, I believe. And I think that's going to, in the next couple of years, Kadoma, that might start to show some dividends for you and for others who do look for that design innovation. We've been talking about it for a long time, and we know we haven't seen it from inside the camps. I think that's because a lot of it is starting to stick close to the culture, but get to the fringe of being owned, of being taken in by the juggernaut, and the little guys are starting to get some of that attention.
And not just design, but marketing and what materials, like I don't know, whatever encompasses the full 360. Like, you can be creative in a bunch of different aspects other than just design.
Absolutely. Well, the design plays into storytelling. It's part of that whole thing that we always talk about is, who's telling a story. As Jesse said, ASICS does a good job with that because even with their collaborations, there's a story behind them. I think that's a big deal.
And that's what I'm saying. When things get stagnant, when things get oversaturated, that's the only way to kind of make a name for yourself and break free of that mold, is by being creative and going into uncharted territory. And maybe the brands themselves think that they're doing that, but I don't know, with such a barrage of shoes coming at us each and every weekend, it's starting to just seem monotonous.
I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. They don't have to do it because normally that marketing and that brand story is to move product. They're on autopilot. The major brands are moving product without telling the story. That's why they don't have to give it to us.
Is it moving, though?
It is moving. Nike and Jordan are making the retailer buy it.
Yeah, but is the retailer moving it?
I don't want to say.
Yeah. See, that's when it's moving.
What do you mean? Is the retailer moving? Is the retailer making any money, or is Nike and Jordan making all the money?
I mean, of course.
Nike and Jordan are making all the money at the retailer's expense.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on live right now. I don't want to.
Don't say anymore. We don't want to get you into trouble.
Exactly. I don't want to bash them.
All right. Well, I don't own a store, so I'll talk about it. Yeah, but duh. Like, he's not saying anything we don't know. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. No one's going to these retailers to be like, if you don't want to carry it, don't carry it. What is Nike really going to do? They need you. If they don't have you, there are no distribution channels.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Retailers are never going to collectively agree to stand against a particular model or brand. They're just not.
There's not.
Retailers are all competing with each other. So if the
There's no
shop down the
collusion.
block decides not to carry it, the salesman's just going to go down the block to another shop and go, hey, well, guess what? They don't sell it anymore, so we're going to give it exclusively to you.
I don't think it's necessarily as big as like we need to get together and get against a certain brand. That's not what I'm saying. But if they're pushing a certain shoe on you so that you can get this shoe, then you got to take these shoes. Pick what you want to pick.
But that's what I think. I do understand the retailers' woes because you got it coming from both sides in terms of you can take that stand, and you're absolutely right. I think there needs to be a way that the retailers and the smaller guys can take that stand. But the rabid nature of the fan is still always a McDonald's, Burger King scenario. If you ain't serving it, they will, and they will proudly sell their soul to do it. So those with integrity will lose to those with no scruples.
That's right.
The one thing I learned very quickly from, and Dee can attest to this too, with all the retail consulting with shops and stuff that we've done, is the fact that we realized very quickly that among them there is no unity. If you trip, they will step over you. They're not helping you up.
Yeah, there's no union. There's no owners union.
Matter of fact, they will step on your back and then over you to make sure you don't get up as fast.
And then be mad that you made their sneakers dirty.
So in a perfect world where it's mom and pops versus the world, or I won't even say mom and pops, because mom and pops do somewhat still try to stick together, partly because some of them are owned by all the same family. But as far as in the boutique world goes, it's just not going to go down that way. Because if you don't want to stock it, somebody else, another boutique, they'll be calling them as soon as you say no. Before you even finish getting the O from no out, they're already calling somebody else.
And that's honestly where the onus, we cannot as collective consumers shirk the responsibility of again, collectively. I know not anyone on this call, but collectively we can't pass the buck of going absolutely bananas when a shoe comes out, because that's what empowers said retailer with no scruples to step over his brother's shop to get your dollar, because he knows you're going to keep searching. You, the consumer, is not going to stand up and say no. Are you? No. Yeah. Collectively, the consumer is not going to say no. We saw that foolishness just this week. For tickets. Now they are going bananas for a chance to go bananas.
Yeah.
Wow.
It makes no sense.
Oh my God, that quote is going on Twitter right now.
So it still is the bottom buck. It still is the last line of defense when we vote collectively with our dollars, with our attention, then said boutique with the integrity can stand on his integrity and say, okay, consumer, we're not going to go after this because that would make us charge you. You got to clamor for this. You got to get in line. You got to do tickets and all this foolishness. It's a whole chain of events that actually ends with the consumer. But we always want to pass the buck up the line to the brand, to the boutique, to the this, to the that, to law enforcement, to moms who give their kids money, blah, blah, blah. It's still down to the person that's wearing them damn shoes.
Yeah.
It's on us. Whether we like it or not, it's on us. Collectively speaking.
Yes, sir. Understood. All right. Is D Wells back?
No.
He'll be back in a minute, I assume. That quote just went up on Twitter. See what the feedback is. Now we go bananas for a chance to go bananas.
Wow.
All right. So I had the undaunting task of having to actually go through a whole year of run of shows to come up with my highlights for 2014, my recap, if you will, for 2014. And some of you guys in your own personal recaps alluded to some of this stuff, but some of the other stuff I'm going to bring up, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, really, that happened. That's right. First of all, it's amazing to see a whole year go by where we are here just about every Wednesday, and we're just constantly feeding and reporting and dedicatedly giving the news and all of this stuff about all these things that goes on to, you know, the disorderlies around the world. So we got to thank them also for riding by us all year and catching all of this and hearing all of us go at it. So I'm going to go into my recap based on me going through all of 2014's run of shows. So first one I'll give is Dwayne Edwards did the World Sneaker Championships this year. Big move. Big move. Congrats to him, and happy belated birthday. It was his birthday last weekend, 12/13/14, which is the last sequential date of our lifetime. So all days for him to be born. and to round it out, 12/13/14. So the World Sneaker Championships is a highlight for me this year. Under Armour passed Adidas in U.S. sales this year. Big highlight. Skechers passed New Balance in placement in the U.S. this year. K-Dog already alluded to it, but CGS4 was also on my highlights for raising $23,000 this year. Good move, homie. Congrats to you and Drew and the team. The Adidas ZX Flux mobile app.
Yes.
Big move. Big move.
Huge move.
Big move. Show off. Hashtag show off. Our homie Jason Maiden left Nike this year.
Man.
Big move.
That was huge. Man, jeez.
Kevin Durant almost went to Under Armour this year.
I knew you were going to put that in your list because I had that too.
He was like a little kid who was moving, ready to run away from home with his little knapsack. He wasn't going nowhere.
They grabbed him by his little runaway package and said, "Get back here, boy!
Get over here!
Get over here!"
Just like my mom did to me. He'll make it down the block and get home.
You can call the police. I'll give you the 9 and the 1. You won't make it to the next one, though.
Bus stop until you realize that the food is in the house.
Exactly.
They said, "Here's $50 million for your Depends."
Oh, man.
So that was truly, I personally feel like that was probably the most exciting time this year, because had he signed, that would have represented a really seismic shift in the perception and kind of the hearts and the minds of the consumer that buys his shoes for whatever reasons they buy them. And, you know, again, Kevin Plank said it, you know, they really didn't need to land that deal this year to get to the progress that they made. But had they really got him, just imagine how much further they would have went. Stock did well this year. It was on the stock list, as you know, rated pretty high all year, and they were watching it to see how far it would go this year. So UA, of course, had a big year as far as all of that goes. Here's one that we all forgot about that we reported on the show this year. $3 million worth of Nikes that was stolen in 2009 were found this year. 2009.
Some old lady's porch.
Her backyard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Of course, one of the recent highlights, Nike versus Adidas, a.k.a. Dolce, Dekovich, and Minor, which has grown inherently nasty as the weeks grow on.
Oh, shit.
That is a serious highlight on this year, which is still not over. We alluded to it when we were talking earlier, the Kyle Yamaguchi and Jason Keating and Nike scandal with the PE shoes. That was a big deal this year. I wish Leo was on, but I know he's out celebrating his birthday, but I would have loved for him to speak to this highlight, and that being the unadulterated raping and pillage of Atlanta for sneaker events this year, which completely just ran through Atlanta and just ruined Atlanta for sneaker events for a while. Thanks to all you sneaker events that did that. Customizers finally got some serious respect this year. Mosh, JW Dank, Chef and Gourmet Kicks, Revive, C2, Fetty. So many customizers. They really kind of, this year, after years of us talking about when were they going to get their respect, they kind of really got some good coverage this year. Sneaker sites really started really giving them coverage on their creations and their artistry. And it even made its way this year to coverage of, cleats on the football field, which of course we know Nike recently reacted to. So customizers finally got a serious hat tip to them this year. Despite all the hype, which started back in February/April, and I will tell you guys this much from what I've seen. Adrian, don't say anything because I don't want you in any trouble. For anyone who has seen Adidas line sheets for 2015, starting from the hype of February 2014 all the way into what I've seen for 2015 for Adidas, the Yeezy 3 has not surfaced. So as Dallas Penn would say, where are you, Yeezy?
That's a fake laugh. It's real.
Couple of other highlights. New Balance put out the Worthies, so they tapped into their basketball collection this year. After Matt Bonner had to find a place to go last year, they messed up and retro the Worthies, the NB740s, which hopefully they'll be expanding on for later in 2015, going into a couple of other basketball silhouettes. Fila did a great job this year, even though people weren't paying too much attention because of all the craziness with some other brands. But What's Cologne and the folks over at Fila did a good job this year, releasing shoes in the right way and making sure that they put out the right amount of some of their stuff from the vault. And we got some more coming for 2015. I got a couple of gas faces as far as I go. Then I'm going to turn it over to D. Wells. Gas face goes to ASICS.
Ooh.
It's a half gas face.
Okay.
Because
why is it a half gas face?
I'm very happy that they put out the gel spotlight, which was worn by Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
But I'm very disappointed that they put it out in a what if he was on the Dream Team colorway, which is
insult to injury.
Well played. Well played. Well played. Oh.
You mad at MJ too for that?
Stupidest shit ever. Well, what if he would have played for the team?
Yeah.
So, gas face to ASICS for that, but kudos for actually really putting out the gel spotlight, because believe it or not, the gel spotlight is a solid basketball shoe. No complaints about the gel spotlight on the basketball court. And last but not least, of course, and we know we're going to see some more next week after what happened this past weekend. Gas face goes to Jordan Brand for all the violence that they have already shown a pattern of making sure that they contribute to by scheduling these releases at the same time that they do every year since the Space Jam. They know what they're doing. It's on purpose now, and they don't care. So gas face goes to them, and I'm even going to go as far as to say this. I will go this far, and this is even with, God knows how many pairs of Jordans in my closet and how many pairs of Jordans I've worn over the years. I'm going this far. I'm going out on the limb. I'm jumping. Don't try to talk me out of it.
Uh-oh.
Jordan Brand's dead.
Oh.
Oh. Death penalty? Like that?
Even with the 30th anniversary of Jordan coming up?
Jordan Brand's dead.
Fall 2015.
Wow.
Jordan XXX. Just don't Google that.
Oh, yeah, right?
Type in 30, not
I
XXX.
just got that. There you go.
They didn't think about that one.
Can you expand on that? So what does that mean? Does that mean there's no more Jordans going in your closet? What, you stomp them out or what?
What's that? What'd you say, Jess?
I said, can you clarify that?
Okay, I'm definitely on a lot of their new models that are coming forward. There's no exclusivity of having the technology in the Jordan brand that you wouldn't have in any other basketball shoe, because Nike and Jordan now all share technological platforms. So if you're going to still continue to call Jordan brand shoes, especially the signatures and more of the flagship models, the highest performing basketball shoes on the planet, can the same be said for Nikes now?
Good point. Good point from that standpoint.
Because I don't think it can.
Good point. Because in our time of coming up, you're right. The Jordan was the top of the line version of the Flight of the other lower models that looked similar, shared some DNA, but not all. You're right about that. That's a good point.
We're talking about $250 for a Flyknit Jordan. Seriously? Are we? We are, right? We're talking about $250 for a Flyknit Jordan. We're talking about, and this is with all due respect to everyone who's a signature athlete on Jordan brand, as well as some of the endorsed athletes. You're talking about more athletes from the basketball perspective on Jordan brand right now that have done absolutely nothing than in any other time in the history of Jordan brand.
Including Monte Ellis, who signed today.
I was just getting ready to say that. Why'd you take that out of my mouth? So the question for me is, and this is again why I say Jordan brand is dead to me right now. What does it take to be a Jordan brand athlete?
Do you feel the same way about their other sports?
Say again?
Do you feel the same way about their other sports? Or do you? I mean, you talking the brand completely, because you're talking about basketball footwear.
Well, you can't buy anything else but basketball footwear. So I'm talking about
I think their other sports are insignificant. I think in terms of like even recognition. Like I'm a track guy, and I happen to know that there's a high jumper and there's a couple of other people who wear it, but you can't get anything that they wear.
They've had a pretty successful year in the NFL, and you can buy some of those cleats.
Say again?
They've had a pretty decent year in the NFL, and you can buy some of those cleats.
Some of them.
Some of them.
And the problem with that is, who's wearing those cleats? Everybody. Everybody's wearing the same 6 cleat, the same 3 cleat, the same. K-Dog will tell you, he's seen some of these PE cleats. It's all the same shit they're all wearing. There's no exclusivity there. Yeah. So for me, based on all of those initiatives and what Jordan brand used to represent and what it represents now, I'm sorry, they're probably going to see this. But until they've proven that they can pull a Lazarus, Jordan brand is dead.
That's a bold statement.
That's me.
The death penalty right there, Tom.
Damn.
That's the...
Damn. That made me want to go crack out a pair in mourning tomorrow. Like I
Tomorrow's National OSG Jordan Mourning Day.
Like, I'm getting a call from the relatives. Like, did you know such and such was sick? No, I didn't know.
People would all be standing outside like this.
Pouring out. Now, to end my statement, they can be resuscitated.
Oh, okay. They all right. They all right. You don't have to travel? Okay, just give them my best.
Oh, man. You just gave him an out. See?
They can be resuscitated.
He just gave him an out so he can get some free pairs still. Come up with something hot. See?
They can be resuscitated. I mean, brands who were officially dead, like Fila, are back. So they can come back. But they on the table, and we ain't feeling no pulse for Jordan brand right now.
Goodness. Oh my goodness, you better get here. It ain't looking good.
So whoever watches the show, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna send comments, tweets, texts, death threats, whatever. Whoever's seeding you, I don't care.
Play this at the next group meeting, the next PLM meeting, the next production meeting. Put this up. It's on YouTube.
I'm saying it based on me being in full tune with the history of Jordan brand, being 30 years almost into sneakers myself. You are dead at the moment, Jordan brand.
Damn, now he's talking right at him. Oh,
you,
sir. You, kind sirs, are dead.
Now, the question for Jordan Brand is, before I pass it over to D. Wells, who's going to wheel in the defibrillator?
Fair question.
With that, I'm done. It's D. Wells' turn for his recap of 2000. I hope you guys enjoyed my highlights.
What a list, what a list. My goodness. Well, I'm going to start with a highlight.
Oh, he took the hood off.
No.
It's serious.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
Turn his
This one is actually a highlight that I read, and shout outs to Nice Kicks for posting it today, about a young man who actually went out of his way for one of his classmates was being bullied because he didn't have the nicest sneakers, the most the freshest, dopest pair of sneakers, and actually he extended himself in the true way of the true meaning of cura personalis and care of the person. And I'm just going to put this up. So this kind of helped me. I looked at it as, okay, a high schooler was able to extend himself and actually help out a classmate down in North Carolina. Not knowing the whole story, but just the quick and easy that we were able to read with this young man. His name is, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly, but it looks like Yalvi Mauli, and he's a high school from North Carolina, in Greensboro, North Carolina. And basically, he spotted a kid in his French class earlier today at school with these on, and he basically posted a picture of his sneakers in the classroom because this other guy was making fun of him. So I'm planning on giving him a pair of Concord Lows. Now my question is, how do I present it to him without him feeling like I feel sorry for him? I'm just trying to help a brother out. So, to you, Mr. Yalvi Mawali, and again, I hope I'm not butchering your name, salute to you for seeing another person, and hopefully you actually, I wish we knew the other piece to it is I hope he got involved and basically told his classmates and friends there's no need to make fun of someone else because you never know what that person is dealing with, and you know what, he is your brother. Just like we have our sisters and brothers out there, so salute to you, man. And that made me just, it warmed my heart, it warmed my soul, truly pun intended. And I was like, you know what? It just took one person to see that and to step in and be a change agent. So salute to him.
Note, D. That's a good note because we talk about it a lot. We talk about the hype beasting and such, but we shouldn't trivialize the weight and importance of acceptance to teenagers and adolescents. It's real.
Absolutely, and we forget. So I'll be quite honest. Sometimes I have to step back and say, "Damn, yeah, what was it like to be 14?" And what was it like to be whatever age and trying to come into your own. So, with that, on a high note, definitely, 2015.
I don't want to interrupt. Let me get it real quick and just say that because you threw that in there, and because of this show, understanding we are the haves and not the have-nots when it comes to this community. One of the highlights of the year for me has been giving away shoes. So I think I've given away 3 to 4 pairs of shoes this year, and I think that's the best I've felt ever. So real quick, Ridiculous was out here. We had some great conversations. Really helped me open my mind a little bit, and I was able to give away a pair of shoes that were just sitting in my trunk to my barista out here. It made his day. He was in school, had bummy Janikowskis on, but when I started going consistently, when I started showing up and doing what I needed to do around getting the job, all of a sudden my coffee cup was bottomless. And I was like, what do I do? And I gave him those shoes, and he's been happiest ever since. So
That's what's up, man.
paying it forward is serious.
Absolutely.
Serious. Sorry. Go ahead, D.
No. I welcome that, man. This 2014 has been one of those weird years when it comes to footwear for me because I could honestly say on one hand, 2 fingers removed. No, I'm sorry. One hand, 1 finger removed how many pairs of sneakers I bought.
Wow.
And that's on purpose. That's really on purpose. And K-Dog, when you came on the top of the show, you talk about selling sneakers. I am at that point. I am at that point where I am either selling or giving away a lot of stuff because I have a lot. And I realize there's sneakers I'm never going to wear. So let them go to a new home. So with that, I've been very selective in how I break down and recap 2014. You know, I look at definitely, and I echo this paper, and I think someone else said it too. I think it was, I wasn't sure if it was you, Ridiculous, but the Adidas, you know, my ZX Flux app, I thought that was dope. I thought when it hit the news and hit the internet, it was really good. They took a long time to execute it, but now that we're finally seeing it, it's a beautiful thing. I think customization, being able to really make something unique with your photography, and you all know me, I love photography, I love videography, to be able to put that on a pair of sneakers and give them to someone or have a personalized gift because of that moment that you captured, unbelievable. So shout outs and kudos to Adidas for that. This year has also been the setup year for the Bata Shoe Museum exhibit Out of the Box. And even though the exhibit ended in 2014, you know, the setup and something that wasn't supposed to take place until 2016 is actually going to happen in 2015, where the exhibit is actually going to the Brooklyn Museum. And that is a project that I'm involved with, but also, believe it or not, all of you are involved with or will be involved with very soon. You just don't know it yet. But you know, when that exhibit goes to the Brooklyn Museum, and you know, with the American Federation of Arts, the Bata Shoe Museum, and a ton of other people involved, it's going to be a highlight for the culture, and to really show why this thing is so beautiful, so diverse, and spans, you know, the test of time. Not just, you know, 41 years like hip hop, but actually much, much longer. So definitely, you know, the you know, sneaker culture will have its kind of not defining moment, but certainly a moment to celebrate people coming together from all over the world on sneakers. Brands that were really hot to me this year that I was so glad to see make a resurgence. A little slept-on brand, a small kind of pocket of New Balance is PF Flyers. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to PF Flyers, but PF Flyers had a huge resurgence this year, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing more and more people pay attention to PF Flyers. Another brand that actually is coming back, and certainly is Alessi. Alessi is another brand that they've been doing a lot of stuff outside of the United States. 2015 is going to be the year that we're going to see them, you know, do some really cool and dope stuff in the United States. Earlier in the show, Jesse, you talked about K-Swiss. You know, K-Swiss took their bumps and bruises. They had to retool. Dave and his family, who own the company, hit some hard times, but I think they found their stride now, and they have a good, solid executive team now. So I think we're going to see some really good stuff out of K-Swiss. We're starting to see a little bit of it now, the SI-18 and some other, believe it or not, K-Swiss has some basketball sneakers that if they dig, and I don't know this, but if they go to their vault, their quiver for their basketball K-Swiss sneakers and apply work with the right people or apply the right materials, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. From a technological standpoint, the fact that Instagram finally caught up with everyone else and rolled out video, and they continue to update it. That was a big to-do, believe it or not. And how it's changed, how we actually can share video, 15-second videos, short stories, really quickly. We could do it with sneakers, we could do it with brands, and guess what? It's one of the things we haven't even figured out the full potential of how to use it yet. So, and I say that right on cue, and go figure, Tariq the Video Freak comes on board, who certainly uses Instagram video and uses it really well for Stash and all the other videography projects that he's working on. So that's something I actually want to encourage. You know, I'm trying to do more of it myself, and I want to encourage all of you to try and look at Instagram video from not just I'm going to put out this video of someone sleeping and snoring or you know, or whatever, but actually how to build your brand around storytelling through Instagram video. So, And Paper, this is actually because of you updating your profile yesterday. It made me think about that even more.
Oh yeah.
Your Tumblr. So Instagram video, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. The brands that definitely are messing up. I can sit here and beat up Jordan Brand all day, but the brand that I'm actually at the same time I talk about how good they were is Adidas. They still do not tell their story, their brand story. We need to get that movie and more of those stories. And right now, I can't say this on the air. I've been trying to get to folks at Adidas who are involved in the sneaker exhibit at Brooklyn Museum to tell more of that story. But believe it or not, a lot of people there don't know their history. Go figure. Go figure. Dopest sneakers of 2014 for me. And I was going back and forth because initially I was going to definitely say the ZX Flux, but for me, it's from a nostalgic point of view, it would have to be the New Balance 740. And then the next one that I thought was going to happen in 2014, but we didn't see them, is good old Saucony bringing back the brand called Spot Built. And Mike Packer messed with it a little bit. I was excited. That was actually one of the pair of sneakers I bought in 2014, but I was expecting some more. So I'm looking to use Spot Built, looking to use Saucony or Saucony, as they say here in New England. Bring the original shit back. So there's my 2014 wrap-up. I got a whole lot more I could talk about, but I'm going to keep it brief because we got some other folks to get to.
Unless the video freak has some highlights for 2014, you can keep going.
There's been some, as you would say, as K-Dog and everyone else, there's been some fuckery. There's been some.
I think it's the first time I've heard D curse.
There's been some. No, don't worry. I'm trying to be better with my tongue. But listen, we seem to clean up with Instagram. All of a sudden, what happened?
Yeah.
Who had followers? You
people aren't as cool anymore.
Exactly.
Hey, how many? I haven't noticed anything.
Oh yeah, I have. I have
a
on my
big
number.
notice.
Not a big notice, but I have. But even some people that I do follow, I went and looked at their numbers, and I was like, "Damn, what happened?"
Like who? Like who?
Like who?
Yeah,
Like
name
who?
your name.
Please want you to name names. Y'all know this.
Y'all want name?
This is live, y'all. What's wrong with you?
This is almost like, shoot, y'all gotta make it look like Bobby Schmurder just got arrested. Oh, he did. I'm sorry.
Those questions when it's
That just
live.
happened. That just happened. That did actually just happen.
Hey, D, for what I came in on you talking about the ZX.
Yeah.
I think I guess I got an opportunity to do one for the love.
Okay.
So I'm a pick one of my Instagram pictures and throw on there.
Nice. Okay.
Do you have a favorite sneaker highlight for 2014, Video Freak?
Sneaker highlight, like a favorite sneaker, or just like
Just anything, news, a shoe, anything. We're doing a year-end wrap-up tonight, as you know. So everyone who pops on got to have one thing to say about 2014.
Tech Challenges was high up there, but Hirachi basketball was like number one for me. I'll do Hirachi basketball, Tech Challenge 2s, Infrared 6 just because I love it. Medicine balls because like I never had a pair and I really want a pair. So I definitely got to cop a pair of those. This year was kind of the year of doubling up too. Like I got like 2 SCs.
Okay.
I grabbed 2 Techs. I grabbed 2 Hirachis. I grabbed 2 Infrared 6s.
IP.
Oh, it was a year of the New Balance. I finally dropped in and got some this year, so I'm gonna get some more.
Okay.
And it was,
looking around the room like, okay, what I got around me?
and it was a year of like really ODing on hats. Like it was a pretty bad year for that.
So, what's your favorite hat this year?
I gotta say that I'm doing I got asked to do a top 5 for Strictly Fitted, so I'm gonna save that.
What's up now?
Okay. You need to put me down on Strictly Fitted too, by the way. We need to have a talk about that. I need to be down with Strictly Fitted. We need to have a talk about that offline.
Oh, okay.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I get to do a top 5. I got to take my picture Saturday morning of all the hats that I chose. So.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks for that recap, brother.
Yeah.
All right, so D.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump back. I'm gonna skip one though, because I'm not gonna put anyone on Front Street about buying followers. But let's just be honest. I do know some people. I don't know for sure, but by looking at the numbers, I suspect that they did buy some followers and paid the $5.99 for 1,000 followers, and Instagram cleaned up. I do have to talk about what I was surprised, and I wondered, why did Puma go out and sign Rihanna as creative director? No bashing against Rihanna, but is she the right person for the job?
Yep.
I don't want.
I think so.
Can I make a request?
Her star power is.
Can I make a request? Since we have a resident creative director on staff on TV right now, can we let him weigh in on that decision? Because someone trying to get into that industry and see shit like that happen, I want to know from a professional, how does that happen and what does that feel like?
Have you all heard of Puppet Leader?
Hey, Steve, he ain't talking about you. He talking about me. How you go up there and say that, Steve?
See how he jumped in? See how he jumped in? The love continues.
He just jumped in with he didn't say Steve. He didn't say nothing. Steve just like, it's me.
Sorry, I was talking about Steve.
Oh, gotta love the love. It's all right.
Yo,
go ahead, sir. Go ahead, brother.
Steve look like he's gonna be like, look, I'll be back, and he start walking to Brooklyn. You just had a knock on Tariq door.
I know.
Hey, I'm sorry, I had to, man. It was he left it open, man. It was a good.
My bad.
Who is it?
I want to hear this. This is going to be interesting.
What's your take?
I think in a lot of ways.
Whose mic is that?
I don't know.
Whoever keeps moving their mic, try to hold still for a sec, please.
I think in a lot of ways, when we're looking at when these announcements for creative directors come along, those of us who do work in the industry take very little offense to them because, like I started to say, it's like a figurehead government. These people might sit in that room, they might take the proper pictures, but in very few cases are these celebrities actually making the call on materials, color, creative, actual direction. They're a good name for the publicity of being hot at the moment. Puma is very, for those who don't know, because of Puma's attachment to the islands with track and field mainly, they are huge in the West Indies.
Yep.
So what better person to put figurehead as their new creative director signing than a West Indian doing major things in a celebrity sense. So, you know, that's like saying Usain Bolt is a DJ. Well, he spends a little bit, enough to make sound come out the speakers, but he's not a pro. But he's not a pro DJ. We know that, but we let him get a pass because he's doing his thing. He's good for the brand. I suspect, I can't say with any certainty, but I suspect that's a similar thing that's going on when a company like Puma with roots in the islands, signs an islander, with celebrity status, known for being an islander. She can be controversial. She's mouthy. She's all the things that gain that attention as their creative director. I don't know how much creation she's actually doing, but it's a good thing to sell, I suppose.
Is it possible for her to actually have an influence on the line creatively as a creative director?
Yes, there is. That would come with some showing and proving. That would come with some earning of the stripes in a very public sense. Because again, from that standpoint, with actual creative direction work needing to be done, she's going to have to be in some meetings and contributing. She's going to have to be shown to actually have an impact. And again, pick a celebrity who has had their name put on the creation or design credit given to them, and they have to start showing that. Nike would do it all the time with a Kobe or with KD, and they show them in this room with that designer putting their input and minor spin on things. Are they really influencing the design that much with their 10-minute conversation about what I like and what I don't like? Do they really go in deep like some might? Do they just do that for the cameras and the publicity of saying, me and this guy right here designed this shoe, when it's really 5% me and 95% this guy? So can they have an impact? Sure, but it depends on how authentic they're willing to be. I put up a post about that today on my Instagram, a text post that said that. It's like, DIY can only go so far. If you don't have the skills, it looks like you did it your damn self, which is sad. At some point, DIY has to transition into being professional. So if a creative director like one of these celebrities with giving creative director status really creative directed a shoe, I think we would know which one they did. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, here's what I did today, which is interesting enough when I heard the news. And I do this every time I hear about a major signing or somebody who's paid to be in an event for a brand or whatever the case is. First thing I do is I Google that person. And I pull up their images to see what they're wearing on their feet. And I like this signing ahead of Rita Ora with Adidas, ahead of the Tiana Taylor. I put this one right up there.
Oh, you think Tiana? I see Rita Ora, but
I second.
I put them right there.
No.
As far as Googling and
I don't, because I'm gonna tell you why, Tariq. Because, and this is no shots to Tiana Taylor. You get your money where you get your money, but we're just really talking about your public image and perception and what people associate with you.
Hey,
Tiana Taylor. At least 3 pages of her wearing Jordans come up before you get to anything related to her shoes with Adidas.
And with Rihanna,
because she's not with them no more.
And then, no, that ain't because she ain't with them no more. This was before she signed to Adidas.
Hey, all of that aside, Tiana Taylor still got the hottest women's shoe to ever come out to this day.
That's true.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, she doesn't agree with you guys because 2 days after the shoes came out, she was back wearing Jordans.
Yeah, she was.
So it don't matter.
Because the thing happened.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
How does that not matter?
How does that not matter? What kind of credibility does she have?
I mean, to me, that doesn't matter. I mean, she designed the hottest women's shoes.
Did she really design it though?
She got kicked right after.
Wear whatever she wants.
Did she really design that though?
Well, here's my thing.
See, because you're a designer, Steve, you want to give her it's hard for you to give her all the accolades and credit, but her name is attached to that. Like, she deserves.
I'm not a designer. I'm not a designer. I'm just coming from the point of consistency. This was a criticism. This was a criticism of Jay-Z as well. Back when you would see Jay-Z and Rocawear ads, but you'd never see Jay-Z wearing Rocawear anywhere else.
True.
But
you can't jump off the roof with that, because everybody that you don't see T.I. in Stravers Row all the time.
But see, but I think what Paper is saying, he's coming about it from a positive perspective, in thumbs up to Rihanna, not dissing everybody else. Because the truth is, there is a more
that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you Google certain people that get signed to these brands, it's obvious that the brand bought these people. And they didn't sit down with them and say, what is your passion for our brand before we signed you? It was more like, we know you're cool.
And I can dig that. I can dig that. But
let me finish my point. My point is, with the signing of Rihanna to Puma, you didn't see that. When you Google Rihanna, you can't say she's consistently just rocking one brand and then all of a sudden now she's on Puma, so it's going to be all about Puma. Because when you Google images of her, you see her in all different kind of shit.
No doubt.
And there's a consistent level of her being fashionable, not a brand whore. Right. So this was a truly genuine opportunity for her, and that's why I like it above any of the other female signings this year.
And that's why I think that, like, to Jesse's point, do I think she can influence? I think when you have someone like that that's proven that they can be stylish, could they have some input? Yes. You've seen celebrities actually take that step and gain credibility on the design front. That remains to be seen.
Yep. She's got to prove it. Of course, she got to prove it.
But what I do like, as we always talk about story, Puma has been entrenched in the island nations for longer than most of us care to even remember or talk about. It's an island. They have such a stake there that it's almost an island brand. You got some people that might even believe that they come from Jamaica or Bahamas, you know, because it's heavily entrenched in their culture. It really is. For credibility with Rihanna, her very first major release video upon the replay, the dancers were in Puma tights. They were in Puma running tights.
Yep.
So I think that was a great signing. And truth be told, if you had to pick between which brand tells this story better through product, Puma or Adidas, Puma kicks Adidas asses.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Younger brother is smacking older brother upside the head.
The young Raps Puma collection was epic.
The only female Adidas collection that moves, / Rihanna Taylor and all the rest of these chicks, is Stella.
Stella moves. Yeah.
So when you can get on Stella's level, then we talk about females moving product.
That's true.
She designs some shit.
That's true.
Stella McCartney kills it. She does kill it for Adidas.
She gets it in.
She definitely does. And yeah, that is something to aspire to. But you know that. But again,
but there are some others that are doing well with New Balance and Heidi.
But you know what?
And there's somebody else. There's a couple other ones too that are.
But that's actually. I'm glad you brought that up, Jesse. She's not a celebrity herself, but she is pop royalty, Stella McCartney. Mm-hmm. For her to be taken seriously, she had to dive in and get that credibility on the street, on the ground, boots on ground, make it happen, because she is Paul McCartney's daughter, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from a family like that, she had to actually outgrow her own name to gain credibility in the industry as a designer, and she kills it now. So so celebrities can make it happen if they're willing to pay the dues and actually be seen doing the work.
See, I don't think they necessarily have to do the work. I don't. I don't. I mean, it's a marketing decision as well. They should have a head on their shoulders to what percentage they want to put in the work. I mean, you could be like Kanye and put in such a huge percent your shit never comes out, or you could, you could be faithful in your brand's design team and give input and let them knock it out the park.
Yeah, see, I love it. Collaborate.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see. Thank you, Adrian. That's a collaborator. That's a consultant. You don't give that person. Again, that's just me. So please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because not they fucking with my paycheck.
Yeah, but you try.
I asked Ridiculous to weigh in on this simply because this is how he makes his money every day.
Right.
He's got skills that you wouldn't believe when it comes to design. And this is how he makes his money every day. And there are people out there going to school, sitting in jobs they don't want, going to pencil, struggling for an opportunity for that title. And to see Puma come out and be like, we're just going to give her that creative director title, that's really, really hard to swallow for me. But I'm not taking it from Rihanna because I believe she could be in that next vein of being able to push something as well as probably Madonna did. But I'm just saying that, like, when you see that, yo, I'm sorry, I can't swallow that. I can't swallow that. I don't think that's okay. You know,
we don't need to know. We don't need to know who the real creative director is. I'm sure they're getting paid handsomely to make Rihanna look good.
No, you're right. But what I'm saying is the public is so much closer. See, we can't have a myopic view to think that the public does not care about this stuff. They do, and you can tell when shit doesn't move. They're too close to their information. They want in that immediate satisfaction that we got from fast food, we now have with our mobile devices, with our lookups, with our information, with Google, with this, with that. There has to be credibility because, contrary to popular belief, as much as we like to think the general public is stupid, they are not. Not when they care about it.
That's right.
They're as knowledgeable as any if they care about it.
Not when they care. You're right.
So when they do hand out these titles, I think there is an expectation of expertise, even from the most rudimentary part of society. Now, if you just say it's endorsed, your Rita Oras and this and that,
right?
You ain't a creative director just because you rocking the shoe on a podium at a photo shoot. Just look good in the shoes. Hike up the skirt a little higher. Cool, got the picture. But
people don't want to buy that, Steve.
What's up?
People don't want to buy that. People want to buy what Rihanna makes.
That's what I'm saying.
What is Rihanna made?
That's what I'm saying. That's why the title is there, so the general public perceives that Rihanna made this.
That's right.
No.
Because
a creative director doesn't make shit. A creative director lays out what needs to be made.
But I'm just saying that's why that title
You
is.
pointed out the light colors on the palette, like that one.
Yeah, a creative director's not making shit.
Hey,
but how much can you give her when most people of her stature are dealing with stylists and it's not completely them?
See, that's another thing that most people are jaded
we're
about.
Educated enough to know that, but I don't think most people.
Bruh.
I think people
watch the message boards, watch Twitter, watch these comment sections. People are jaded about that shit.
Yeah.
I
think consumers are smarter because
these ladies know a stylist versus what's
Right.
actually being done. But this is not to take anything from Rihanna. Rihanna has a particular style, I think, that she's stuck to versus some people wanted her to do. I don't think she went all the way pop. She was like, nah, this is how I roll, which gives her that credibility to be in this spot, which is cool. She's got something she could prove.
And that's to Pepper's point. To Pepper's point, I think
creative
she's got a lot more influence. To Pepper's point,
tough. That's going to be tough because she's going to have to put out some shit that sells. And if it doesn't...
And you know what? We've seen it before. Maybe not in this sense. Most people don't watch Project Runway like I do. I love that shit. And Heidi Klum was a model. She's a body. She's a face. She's Victoria's Secret. She's this. She's that. Now she's hands-on. Now she's hands-on making her own clothing.
All the rest are wick, wick, whack. I'm sorry, that's a lyric popped in my head.
Her New Balance collection does pretty well.
Sorry.
And that's my point, is she's got a hands-on aspect to this that stems from some credibility and from authenticity. She was shoved into being a Victoria's Secret model because she had a more athletic body than most of the stick-thin models. So her history was the body. That was her nickname. So a lot of her stuff was athletic-inspired, Sports Illustrated swimsuit-inspired. As she went through her modeling career, working out, fitness, those things were credible to her.
And I'm glad you said that, Steve, because just for clarification of Rihanna's role with Puma, it's going to be in women's fitness. It's not going to be regular casual style stuff. It's fitness, apparel, and footwear.
And see, that's really interesting for what I said before. Puma in the islands is a highly athletic brand.
And what does that mean? What does that mean? That means crazy photos of Rihanna in the islands wearing athletic gear half naked. Yeah, it's gonna work.
Yo, he was so excited with that. You saw
It's
his
gonna
eyes.
work. And I was excited about it because I was talking to another friend of mine, a female friend in DC, who's trying to work in the stylist area. And she sent me a picture today of homegirl Adriana Ho, who does her little pictures of Sweat the Style. And all of a sudden, she's got her own shit going on, and it's all fitness inspired.
And let me tell you, anybody, go on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go on Instagram and type in hashtag fitness or hashtag tone chicks or tone girls. It's the new porn to have a sports bra on.
That's right.
Who better to than Rihanna?
Hey, I'm with you because them yoga pages.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Them yoga pages.
And this is where the credibility comes in again. Culturally, Rihanna's a dancer. She doesn't do as much now, but when she first started in her career, she was up front right with her dancing team, right with her squad, in the running tights with a Puma logo splashed on the ass. Like there's some credibility there that could go very well. Creative director, I don't know. Style icon, most definitely.
There you go. Well.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what she puts out. Creative director or not.
You gotta sit back and watch because again, it's all fitness apparel and footwear, and no one's ever said she's got a whack body. Never heard anybody say that.
Nah, we ain't said that.
Well, she's got to keep up with Sophia Channing right now.
Man.
I like early Rihanna better though.
Come on,
Sophia have to make some with Puma. They might have to make some big ass sunglasses for that forehead though.
Get off her forehead. Get off her forehead. I would rub it.
I like early Rihanna though. Early Rihanna was because she had that little thickness going on.
There you go.
Oh God.
All right. So that is our recap.
Can I say there was some nice Air Force One highs this year.
As our year recap, I almost forgot, D. Wells, to thank everybody for their support of From the Feet Up.
Absolutely.
And, I'm announcing here at the end of the show. I know I should have did it earlier, but From the Feet Up will be back for 2015. So
nice.
Yeah.
From the Feet Up for 2015. Shout out to and everyone who supported and gave good feedback and everything on the show. It'll be back in 2015. Also, we got to make sure everybody goes over to lacedup.com, laced-up.com, and make sure you stream. Pay-per-view streaming is now available for the Laced Up sneaker documentary. Make sure you get over there and watch that. It's available for pay-per-view streaming. Shout out to Sean and Brian and everyone who was involved with the making of that movie, which is, of course, technically the first feature-length sneaker documentary in 10 years. So you guys get over there, check it out, send us your feedback, send the producers your feedback, spread the word about it. We appreciate that. So that is it. Is this technically based on the way the dates flow? Is this technically the last show of 2014?
It is, man.
No Christmas special?
No Christmas special. We're back on January 7th, 2015.
Dude, we gotta have a Christmas. We should do a Christmas morning special. Everybody opens their sneaker gifts Christmas morning.
That's what we have Instagram for.
No, we should not.
We'll do an Instagram version of the show.
Let's go ahead.
And if you think my family gonna co-sign on another pair of sneakers for me, you lost. They're like, you got enough, son. You need
that's the last thing, unfortunately, anybody wants to see from me.
My mom
you got another pair?
I don't need no more. I don't need no more. Nothing.
Nobody needs no more. I already got mine.
What'd you say, Adrian?
That nobody needs any more, but I already got mine.
You're lying.
Last but not least, I know everybody shares this sentiment, but we want to dissincerely hope and pray that in a few days there is not an outlandish display of buffoonery and foolishness and killing for a brand that I just declared dead on the show.
Hey, you know something's gonna happen bad. We
I
don't
hope
want it to
not.
happen. If
Don't
they
put
acting
that out there,
retarded,
Video Freak.
they
Don't put
already
it out there.
did. What you mean?
I'm talking about for next week. Don't put it out there that that's gonna happen again.
All right.
Yeah, not only
Sneakers over
not
people.
only sneaker releases, but the holidays too. You know, you got to party responsibly, celebrate responsibly. There's always somebody that takes it too far and pays.
Yo, they need to come out with some other way of selling these shits, man.
Yes, they do.
I already got the way.
What's that?
I'm not gonna say
it.
it.
No
CHC. Hey, I can say everybody wants to jump to just doing it online, but then that's another freaking hassle of safety after that. Like,
doesn't have
it's
to be
another
online.
show. It's another show, is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? And to counteract all of that, just be good to everybody, man. Like if you got enough, you know you got enough. Pass something down the line.
There is literally another pair coming out the very next week.
Yep. True, but part of the problem.
Well, if you got enough, you know you got enough, and that's everybody.
Hey, tonight a female on Instagram posted a picture. Her little sister put a handwritten letter on the calendar talking about all I want is these Legend Blues. That's all I want for Christmas.
It runs so much deeper, yo. It runs so much deeper. You know, Paper hit on it before. Maiden leaving. D's doing other stuff. It's just, it runs so much deeper. And I know an associate that was there that recently took off from there. And I can't do it. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. Knowingly feeding this, knowing exactly what it's going to do to the culture, and having someone be like, it doesn't pertain to us, or that's what they're going to do. I can't. Yo.
What is that? What?
We have our shoes.
What do you mean? What is that? What do you mean?
Not you. Somebody's like.
It's like a snake. It's a snake.
No, I think it's your microphone rubbing on your hoodie, Jesse.
Is it mine?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh shoot, my fault.
No, it's not him.
No.
It's Birdman rubbing his hands in the background, wondering if Wayne is gonna stay.
Somebody's microphone's rubbing.
Hey, but Jesse, I feel you, man. Like it's completely just.
Yeah, we just don't.
Everybody caught on to the ticket thing now. You know, at first it kind of slowed them down because they're like, "Yo, what the hell is this? I gotta stand in line for a ticket." But now everybody caught on, man. It's time to switch the game up.
I don't, you know, I'm going to go directly at it, man. I don't want little girls more concerned about having Jordan blues than other things in life. It just blows me away.
Hey, you talking about the video? You talking about the Texas video? When the little girl said that they so professional? I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
All right, we got to go.
Man, that's Texas. We down here with pneumonia.
Yo, she said they was so professional. Like they got a job in the morning.
Tariq, stop. We got to go.
9 to 5 in the office. They so professional.
All those spots are like 5 minutes from where I'm at.
You got to wrap it up, man.
Yo.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Jordan's got a job. They 9 to 5 in it, baby.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.
Yeah.
It's time for us to say goodnight. And with that...
Whoa, whose shit is that?
I introduce bringing them back. Yes.
Birdman is loving you right now.
Yes, these are the official, Birdman lugs. So 2014 has been a great year. Thank you to all the disorderlies, more importantly than certainly Sole Doctors. We appreciate, we thank you, I thank you for walking with us, talking with us, and always bearing your soul. Always remember to spread love. 2015 is to be a different year for us. We got some great stuff in store with the show, additions to the show. So,
snap!
Stay tuned.
Hey, I got one more highlight for the year.
No, you're done.
Hold on.
You're done.
Oh, he plays that card.
That card.
Okay, he plays that one. Okay. Okay.
I'm assuming that worked out well for you.
Hey, I'm telling you, hey, between this and this, I'm so gravy.
Yeah, my wife stole the one I stole from her.
Oh.
Oh man. So
you know, it's really not nice because some of us aren't as fortunate. So
you know what? As they say, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue.
Patience is somebody in the cousin.
Exactly.
Patience don't ease your feelings. That's all I'm saying.
Patience was a girl I went to junior high with. You ain't getting it.
I thought her name was Destiny. I'm sorry. Oh man. Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. Be good.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Make sure you walk with us, talk with us. More importantly, in 2015, keep your laces tight, let your tongue loose, and as always, walk good. Y'all be safe. We're up and out.
Bang, bang.
That shit is crazy. She had the sweetest scent I ever smelt a woman have. Skin would glisten like reflections off the bluest jag. She had a Jewish dad.